Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Thursday. It's time for a new episode of LonsTV. First things first, I know I got to get this out of the way. I haven't been making episodes very regularly anymore. I used to hit every, 5 days a week, every day, like clockwork, for a couple months. But now I'm doing a couple different jobs. I got a lot of different projects going on, and I just don't have the time not only to make the videos every day, but to review things, to watch and review things in a way that I could sort of keep up. So I'm just not going to abandon the channel. I'm going to keep doing videos. I'm going to try to do 1 to 3 videos a week, depending on my time. But I'm not going to try to do the, 5-day-a-week thing anymore. It's just too much trouble. And Web Series Wednesday will now become Web Series whenever I watch a new web series and have stuff to say about it. And I'll still keep sending them to Tube Filter. So that'll all keep going. I'm going to keep it going. I don't want to give up. I enjoy doing the show, but it's just too much for me to try to sort of get one out every day, and then I forget, and I feel bad, and people are confused about when it's going to go up. So I'm going to still regularly post, but it's going to be, a couple times a week. I don't really have a review for today, like something I want to review. I just want to talk a little bit about the Charlie Sheen thing that's going on. Everybody's talking about it. I feel like I have to comment. I know most of what needs to be said has probably been said with the hashtag winning after it at this point. But I still want to talk about it because I think it's interesting, and there are some things that I'm not sure is part of the overall conversation that's going on about Charlie Sheen, which I think tends to be about what a maniac he's acting like. And there's some other... Anyway, I'll get around to it all. First and foremost, I think, obviously there's always the commentary from people who feel like it's wrong to talk about it, or it's wrong to feed into it, or to pay attention to it. Just like how every time you go to a gossip site and you read like a gossip story like, oh my god, Heidi Montag and more plastic work done, or whatever, the first couple comments always have to be from people like, why are you even writing about this? Who cares about? I don't even know who this person is. And it's like, well, then why are you here on this page? Like, it's being written about because you're reading it, jackass. And I think that impulse, it sometimes comes from a good place, but it always seems to crop up when things like this are going on. In fact, Lauren Feldman, a friend of mine on Facebook, posted, that it's really terrible that everybody's sort of laughing at this guy and he's dying, and it's really tragic, and it's so grim that, social media seems to find such a delight in him. And he's not wrong. It's definitely ghoulish. Like, here is a man who's obviously going through some sort of nervous breakdown, or maybe I think it's possible he is sober. Like, he was doing drugs and self-medicating for something that's really wrong with him, and now he stopped doing drugs maybe, and that thing that's really wrong with him has taken over again. Something obviously is very, very wrong with the man. He looks sick, he's just not well, and he's saying, lots and lots of really crazy things. So, there's something going on there. And I do agree that it is sort of oddly grim and sinister that people are so fascinated by it, but it's also human nature, and I don't really know if you're ever going to be able to do anything about that. I think to deny it, that we all are going to be curious to watch a train wreck, like how people are curious when they drive by an accident and take a look. I'm not saying feed into that impulse, but at the same time, it's going to happen. It's sort of denying our own nature to just pretend everybody can be like, don't ignore the famous person who's absolutely having a mental breakdown, like, on your TV every day. Like, obviously, that's not going to happen. I do think, and I'm not saying I want anything to happen to Charlie Sheen. He's a fellow human being. He seems to be in genuine distress. I obviously hope he gets the help that he needs, and he gets better, and that one day he's back. And I love several of his films, and I wish him no ill will. But if something terrible were to happen to Charlie Sheen in the next few weeks, which I think we'd all agree is at least somewhat likely, given the lifestyle he seems to be living and bragging about, I think the internet's going to have a real moment of reckoning. We're really going to find out how, because a lot of the people on the internet, or a lot of the people who make jokes about people like Charlie Sheen or Chuck Norris or some of these other figures and characters, even Star Wars Kid or Winnebago Man, it's coming from a place, people would say, of affection. That we like these people and we're laughing with them, and that it's part of the sort of communal joke of the internet that some random people or some things get elevated to fame and whatever. And I think Kanye, people would say the same thing about Kanye, that we're laughing at how crazy he is, but we're also celebrating, his personality or whatever. I'm not sure that that's true. I don't know if I buy it. I think it is more sinister than that. And I think if Charlie Sheen dies and it becomes still a joke, that, you know, he was burning out on the internet and then he died, and people are still making light of it, I think we would really finally know, like, that's the dual nature of fame in America. Like, it seems like people are really into you and excited about you, but really they just like it's like you're sacrificial. They like elevating you and then watching you ripped apart. And, like, I think the Jersey Shore kids are definitely going to get a taste of this in the next year or two, where it's like, yeah, the first season it was like, these kids are crazy and it's really funny, and then we're going to, like, enjoy watching them twist in the wind. And I say we, if it were just up to me, obviously things wouldn't be this way. But they are this way, and I'm just trying to sort of look at it and figure it out. The other thing I think that's interesting that's going on with all the Charlie Sheen stuff is that he really has in one day decimated that entire part of the reality TV business, this, like, celebrity reality TV. You know, there's all the shows like The Dancing with the Stars or I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here or whatever, where they take famous people and, you know, and these famous, like, Celebrity Apprentice is just getting going, and it's like these famous people really want to get back into the public eye, so they do these embarrassing things for not a lot of money so that they, like, get back out there and they're famous again, and then they get other work. And I really think Charlie Sheen is now showing that if you're already a celebrity, like, this wouldn't work for everybody, but if you're already a celebrity, you don't really need a show anymore, like Twitter and just a couple different interviews. There's enough TV shows and radio shows that'll want to interview you, and TMZ will talk to you, and then Twitter, and that's basically all you need to revive your career if you are clever and crazy and have a personality that would be good for reality TV anyway. Like, there's no way, like, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like, that's a TV show. It takes time to produce, and there's contracts, and then there's, like, censors and laws about what they can put on the air, and, like, Charlie Sheen can literally do or say whatever he wants. Because he's not on a show, he's not beholden to any corporation. He was, and then he cut off ties with them. So now it really is like a totally new era. I'm predicting the celebrity reality show is going to go out of fashion now, because celebrities don't need to hook up with these networks. They can totally do it by themselves now. My final thought here, get a little more serious. I know I try to have fun on the show, but the thing that drives me the most crazy about the Charlie Sheen thing is people are upset, you know, now with the hyper-aggressive bragging and the, you know, sort of vague anti-Semitism and attacks on Chuck Lorre and the flagrant drug use and all that stuff. And it's as if we didn't know until a week ago that Charlie Sheen was kind of a bad guy. And we've known Charlie Sheen was a bad guy for most of my life. Like, we know that he's a serial abuser of women, and we've known that for a while. I mean, probably the nicest thing you can say about Charlie Sheen's attitude towards women is that sometimes he just pays them for sex. He doesn't terrorize them afterward. Like, that's at best. Like, it gets worse from there. And he's locking people in closets, and, you know, he's making them terrified for their lives, and, you know, he's leaving these, it was like the Mel Gibson thing, except he's been doing it for years. And if you want to get upset about that being in the public eye and the public sort of celebrating that, I think CBS and 2.5 Men, like, they're the ones who've made him this huge TV star and celebrated him for all of these years that he's been behaving in this awful way. Now he's just gone crazy, and it's so absurd that it's kind of funny. But that's really, I think, the more offensive thing about the entire Charlie Sheen thing. So again, I don't personally wish him any ill will. I don't hope that he dies or that something horrible happens to him. I hope that he gets better and maybe also reflects on his years of misbehavior. But, you know, just sort of my general thoughts on the whole Charlie Sheen thing. I will definitely do my best to get back tomorrow. I saw Take Me Home Tonight and a bunch of other movies I wish I could review, but I'm reviewing them on my This Week in Movie show on Sunday, so tune in there. It's a live Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific time on This Weekend, and then it'll be on YouTube and iTunes after that. Thanks for tuning in to LonsTV, and I will see everybody next time.